Welcome to Volgograd, a city in Russia you probably have heard of. So I'm in Volgograd. There's my hotel behind me, the Hotel Volgograd, which used to be called the Hotel Stalingrad back in the day. But look at what is in front of me. Nice statue. Oh, nice church. It is Alexander Nevsky, that 13th century warrior. And that is named after him, the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. So in 1932 it was completely demolished. And so it's relatively new, but built from pictures and plans. Looks magnificent. Those domes, amazing. Right, I'm on the way to look at the train station. I'm not getting a train, I just want to show you it because Russian train stations are always grand affairs. And here it is, Vauxhall train station. Magnificent statues there of people playing instruments and battling. Great clock on the top with a star, which would in Soviet times would have been red. So this was one of the cities awarded hero city status by the Soviet Union, and I'm guessing this monument just near the train station is to do with it. So just heading away from the train station to this, which I've no idea what it is. Is it a lighthouse or is it something completely different? I have no idea. Can you see all the flies? Harassed by them again. This square though is square 0, and it marks the very centre of Volgograd. Look at that. But I'm heading over there. So it is the Eternal Flame Monument. So Volgograd is the 15th largest city in Russia, and it's located along the river Volga. During Soviet times it was known as Stalingrad, and this city saw some of the worst, in fact the worst fighting during World War II. Okay, now I'm on Lenin Prospect, I think it's called, which is where a lot of the sites are. Just taking a shortcut through an underpass, as usual. No graffiti in Soviet underpasses. So down the centre of Lenin Prospect, another military monument made in 1973. But now I'm heading to one of the largest surviving Lenin statues in Russia. Looking forward to it. There he is with the classic arm out pose. Now, a lot of Lenin statues were pulled down in Russia following the collapse of the Soviet Union, but not in Volgograd. Just behind him. Look at that. Let's investigate that one. There's absolutely no mistaking that this was put up during Soviet times. Proud facial features, proud actions from all the soldiers. I love it. Do you see the flies buzzing around me? This is disgusting. Because of the flies and the heat and the distance, I've got a taxi. 9 minutes rather than an hour's walk. Right, I'm here and I can see it. Well, from here it looks absolutely fantastic. Let's see how close I can get. So here are some interesting facts. It is the tallest statue of a woman in the world. It's actually the tallest statue in the whole of Europe. And it's hollow, but it's 30 centimetres thick, and it weighs 5,500 tons. So yeah, the Motherland Calls, great statue. But I think I'll go over there next and investigate that church. So as usual in these sort of places, no photography is allowed. So I'll go in and describe it. So it's full of gold icons, a massive golden chandelier, a little stall selling religious knickknacks, and a woman lighting little candles, and a smell of incense. I just swallowed one of those disgusting flies, midges. But I've since found out in 2008 when the England team were playing over here, they got assaulted by all these as well. They couldn't believe it. So it's an absolutely huge complex. And there's an eternal flame in this building. Tastefully done. glass smoothed. Just heading down into the lower part of the complex where all these statues are. I'll tell you something, they don't mess around with their war memorials in Russia. Symbolism of the serpents, the Nazis. And look at this. And look at this, carved into the wall with the sounds of battle. So the whole complex is filled with stuff like this. Obviously in significance of what happened here all those years ago. I'm outside the military museum, so let's go and see what's in there. So this is Pavlov's house, named after a Red Army sergeant who with his little crew held this defence which was overlooking the Volga from the Germans. Look at the battering it took day after day after day. They put barbed wire around it, set mines up, and they held. And he survived the war and he was awarded a Hero of the City Award. Look at this. Reminds me of my Model Airfix kits when I was a kid. And there's the Volga. Well, this seems to be open, so let's see. Well, I'm in. If you want to buy some Stalinist souvenirs, this is where you come. Spasiba. Here we are. The man himself, who the city was named after. I always stare at paintings like this in the hope that someone looks like me, but so far I haven't found anyone. If you get a bit peckish, you can order Domino's pizza. Where they've done this. So the buildings are on fire, being blown up. This is cleverly done. Look at that. Now I'm climbing 200 steps to represent 200 days of the war. So the Battle of Stalingrad was one of the largest battles in history. 2 million people died, and it was all to capture access to the Caucasus oil fields. There was fierce tank battles, Luftwaffe bombing, and then in-city fighting. And the Germans managed to take the city, but then the Soviets cut them off and then circled them. And eventually, with no food or ammunition, they had to surrender. So I've just traipsed for ages with my trail of flies, and I'm here. I was hoping I wouldn't have to walk uphill, but it looks like I have to. This is called Park Pobedy. And so far today, even with the taxi, I've walked 16 kilometres. That's just so far. I feel like diving in there. Ahead, the Golden Dome, is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, which is just opposite the hotel, which is where I'm going to go now for a little break because I'm knackered. So it's a bit later, I've had a bit of a rest, and I'm back out again, passing this, which, according to the map, is some sort of administrative building. Amazing. And look at this thing. It doesn't even say what it is on the map, so I'm going to investigate. My best guess, some sort of festival hall. It says festival on that sign there. And right in front of me now is yet another war memorial. I bet you're sick to death of them, but I'm not. This one's amazing, and it says 1589 on it for some reason. So I'm coming up on what is probably my last war memorial. It's not quite as good as the earlier ones, but it's still worthy of a visit. And just near it, this sorry looking dog carrying a pack. Are they carrying explosives or supplies? I'd like to think supplies for the troops. So I'm on my way to see another like warship which I've read about, and it should be one to see this time. But a few observations about Volgograd. It's really safe. It's not very hilly, but the flies are mental. But I've seen people wearing like these head coverings like beekeepers have, and spraying themselves madly with this spray. So that would be an idea if you came here, especially this time of the year in the summer. Finally got to one, and it's called Gastel. So there you are, back at the hotel behind me. So that's Volgograd. So if you're interested in like war memorials and statues of that kind, then this is the place to be. See you next time, Ekaterinburg. I'm Jason Smart, and if you've liked this travel video, please click subscribe.